Bonjour class. Okay, so today we're going to talk about making comparisons, and I've also tossed in a little bit on l'imparfait, which is another past tense that we haven't covered this semester. It's literally the first grammar lesson in your next class, so I wanted to go ahead and give you a taste of it, but know that it won't be on your final exam or anything like that. It'll just be helpful as you're learning the language and moving forward. All right, here we go. First things first, we've been spending a lot of time talking about pronouns, and so I want to go through and show you guys the order of pronouns. So this is the triangle that I was taught to memorize back whenever I was in high school and undergraduate, right? And so you start with me, tu, nous, and vous on your left, and you end with I and on your right, and that would be how these are displayed in a sentence that they share. This lets you know what order they would come in a sentence where you're using multiples, because it's very common that you'll use multiples once you're getting more proficient, or that other people will use multiples, so you can pay attention to that order. So if I was making a sentence that was just full pronouns, me would come first, and then la would come next, and then I or on, depending upon what I was trying to indicate in my meaning, right? And so these all carry meaning based on the prior conversation. So whatever examples I'm giving, things like that. But this is the order that they're expected to go in whenever you're talking to another individual. Have fun with the triangle, learn the triangle. This is what it is. All right. Let's talk about things like good, better, and best. So superlatives are a little complicated in French, but not totally complicated. I've talked you through them in the sense that I've used them in class, but we finally get to learn them together now according to our textbook and curriculum. So first things first, we know good, bon, and we know that it needs to agree whenever it's in its adjective form of bon. What you don't know is better. So sometimes things aren't just good, they're better than other things, right? So they're meilleur, meilleur. That double L becomes a Y whenever you're pronouncing it, and it's meilleur. Now, if it's not just better, but it is the best, you have to say the best. Le meilleur, or la meilleure, or les meilleurs. So someone is the best at something. He or she is le or la meilleure. And make sure you're, of course, adding that ENS to make that agreement as necessary, depending upon if you're talking about multiple best people or if you're just talking about one, and of course it's a man or a woman or a female noun or a male noun. Then you also have to worry about adverbs. So the difference between an adjective and an adverb, of course, is an adjective modifies a noun or refers to a noun, while an adverb is going to be dealing with a verb or modifying a verb, modifying the action of the sentence. So if you do something well, you know that that's bien. But if you do something better than others, say, I teach better than other teachers. J'enseigne mieux que les autres. Mieux. And that's pronounced mieux. Mieux. And then you have the best, right? So someone sings the best of everyone else. They chante le mieux. And so some examples of this, first thing you'll hear like, oh, that's the best, c'est le meilleur. And that's exactly what it sounds like. And then these are some other examples of using good in its varied forms, right? Tu danses bien, you dance well. Les examens de français sont meilleurs que les examens d'anglais. Donc, the French exams are better, right? Meilleur que les examens d'anglais. Et tu chantes meilleur qu'Adèle, right? You sing better than Adele. Or Jason chante le meilleur dans le groupe. So we think Jason sings the best in the group in this case. All right. Now, unfortunately, we did all of our good. Now we have to do some bad. For the adjective, that's mauvais or mauvaise, depending upon if it's masculine or feminine. And then when you get to worse and the worst, it becomes pire and le pire, la pire, les pires, right? Follows the same pattern that good did. But you can also do plus mauvais, which is more bad. And it can be the most bad, le plus mauvais. I tend to use pire. It's a lot of fun to say. And then, of course, You have adverbs as well, like mal, which is bad, but to do something badly or poorly. Plus mal, doing it worse than others. And le plus mal is, in fact, the worst of everyone, right? Much like the superlatives in English. These translate pretty well. C'est le pire. That's the worst. Tu danses mal. You dance poorly or badly. Les examens de français sont pires que les examens d'anglais. So they're worse, right? And you sing worse than a cat. Pire qu'un chat. Tu chantes pire qu'un chat. And then there's also Eric chante le pire dans le groupe. So we thought Jason chante la meilleure dans le groupe, mais Eric chante le pire dans le groupe. You can also say that Eric chante le plus mauvais dans le groupe. All right, so you can be more or less in a lot of other ways too. So this is just good, bad, better, best kind of experience. These talk about other adjectives and how to incorporate saying that you are more rich or less cutthroat than others, right? And so, je suis, I am, je suis plus important que tes devoirs. I'm more important than your homework. I guess you're having some kind of argument in that case, right? And so you are talking through being more or less of something, right? Than someone else. So you're comparing yourself to someone else or to something else. Plus hamna hamna que hamna hamna. Je suis plus hamna hamna que hamna hamna. Je suis plus acharné que ma mère. I'm more cutthroat than my mother. Ça c'est. Okay? But you can also be less, right? Moins. Moins. Je suis moins hamna hamna que hamna hamna. Je suis moins jalouse que ma sœur. I am less jealous than my sister. Aussi, as, or also. Aussi comme is as much as. So you're saying that you're equal to that other person. Je suis aussi intelligent que mon ami. Je suis aussi intelligent comme mon ami. Both work, but comme is usually what's taught. Je suis aussi organisée comme ma prof. I am as organized as my professor. All right, that's as complicated as that gets. We've heard it and seen it multiple times throughout this book, but now you finally get to have the rules behind the situation. Now, not only do you get to be more or less than others making these comparisons, you can have more or less, right? So if I have more cats than someone else in my life, j'ai plus de chats que rien, de personne. I have no cats, so I have no more cats than anyone else. Mais j'ai plus de chiens que Jason. I have more dogs than Jason, right? And so I can say also, j'ai moins de livres que mon prof. I have less books than my professor, because she's got all the books, right? And if I have as much of something as someone else, j'ai autant de capacité de communication comme mes étudiants. I have the same communication abilities as my students, right? And that's exactly what this is. Autant comme, as much as, moins de, less than, fewer, right? Plus de, more than. And that is really all that is. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about the imparfait, which is a continual, habitual past. So we learned the passé composé, which I told you at the time was past completed actions. At the time, you didn't have other versions of talking about the past, so everything became a past completed action. But with l'imparfait, you're able to talk about things that aren't necessarily complete, that aren't necessarily finite, that aren't necessarily actions, right? The fact that it was lovely outside yesterday, or that Gabrielle is taller than Katie, those things are not necessarily actions that have happened, but it's something that you could observe in the past through telling a story. And so that's why l'imparfait exists, and that's the meaning it's conveying. It's letting someone know that this isn't something that suddenly changed, suddenly happened. It was kind of an ongoing, continuing thing in a past time. Alrighty. How to make the imparfait is where we're going to start. So, first things first, you're going to need to put your verb in its new form